Hi there, thanks for coming out. We are Group 13, Lucky 13. Our group members are Scott, Tony, Grania, Alton, Miriam, Juan, Veronica, Mary, Abdi, and myself. My name is Alex. We're going to be speaking to you this afternoon about Cabbagetown, the region in Toronto between Gerrard and Wellesley along Parliament, and specifically about a business development plan for the region. Now, looking at the region, we've identified four main key insights. The first being the perception of the lack of safety and security within the region. The second is the distinct residential pride within the region, but the lack of business community pride within the region. The third is the island effect, or the isolation of the region. That's between socially as well as geographically. And fourth, the actually most important point, is the strong, distinct, and long-standing identity of the region, Cabbagetown being an urban garden within the city. So the key goals of the plan that we're implementing, or the plan that we're proposing, obviously, is to increase volume of business transactions and economic activity throughout the region, to strengthen and market brand identity of the region. Most importantly, though, is the partnerships, to bring the people in the region together, to bring the business associations and the businesses together. And fourthly is to capitalize on the existing strengths of the community and region, the history, the many associations within it, and the strong residential community. This brings us to our objective statement, which can be succinctly said to enhance the identity of Cabbagetown's commercial space by improving its physical space. How? Through a crowdsourcing model. So how exactly does this crowdsourcing model work? We've devised a strategy called the Make Your Mark campaign. Now, the Make Your Mark campaign consists of a 5-year plan to improve public seating, to get the waste off of the sidewalk, to improve the facades and the facade maintenance program, to add further green spaces within the region, to create a focal point within the region, and as well to increase lighting to improve that safety we spoke about. Now, the design elements, the 6 I just mentioned, you can see along the top there, those are all going to create a safer environment, a cleaner environment, a more comfortable environment for residents and shoppers, and it'll further identify the region to itself and to other regions within the city, because right now Cabbagetown is not really recognized as one of the most popular places to go within Toronto. And how again are we going to do this? Through a crowdsourcing model. Now, the key players in any crowdsourcing model, and in the one we're speaking about today, are the local businesses, local business associations, and then of course the residents and general public, and the commercial drivers. Now, the key roles of each of these key players are that we need a project committee and we need the knowledge. The knowledge is going to come from the residents and the general public. That's going to be the design. We want to drive design from the public. Now, the local businesses and associations, we're proposing to come together to create a new project committee for the Make Your Mark campaign that is going to funnel innovation from the public towards design initiatives. Now, this slide here is the meat of the model. It's the service map. Now, as you can see here, there's a lot going on up there. On the top right, we have the 6 design elements we discussed. The green along the top is the crowd. That is the public engagement activities. The gray along the bottom, along this timeline, that is who's going to get this done, who's the committee, the BIA, all those individuals are going to come together. So we're going to just focus right now on the crowd aspect of it, and then I'll come back and tell you who's going to facilitate this for them. So within the first year, coming up to that marker you see there, is establishing the marketing campaign, getting all the groundwork done. At year 1 is when crowd engagement will be starting. We talked about 6 design elements. We wanted to break that up into a multi-year plan to generate enthusiasm towards an eventual 5-year plan of those improved green spaces and improved lighting and all these things which are harder to achieve. In year 1, we're looking at engaging the public to drive design of new public seating, a new clean standard within the neighborhood, and of course improved lighting. In year 2, we move on to the focal points or intersections in the region, the green spaces, and then finally in year 3, the facade rejuvenation and maintenance program. So then who's going to get that done would be the committee. the businesses, the associations within the region and adjacent to the region. Now, prior to public engagement, all of this needs to be done. Ball needs to get rolling. We need to, but the individuals within the region, the businesses, the business associations, the BIA need to come together to create a committee for this new plan, so that they're all funneling towards one end goal. Then at year one, when crowd engagement begins, after such things as a marketing plan is developed, a website is developed, and an event launch is planned, then these individuals within this committee are going to manage the program going forward. They're going to funnel the design elements from the crowd and feed that back into a short list of design elements that they've determined the crowd can then vote on, in a sense. So there can be many different models in which to finalize the design. And then we repeat that process over 3 cycles to move forward through each of the design elements. You see phase 1, 2, and 3 down there. That's the construction aspect of each of these elements. So then, moving on to that, we're going to hand off now to Grania, who's going to speak to you about the specifics of the campaign.
Hi everyone. Okay, so this is going to be our campaign poster to advertise what our campaign is going to be. So it's going to advertise our campaign that will launch at the Cabbagetown Festival. So the poster is to be intriguing and inviting, but also illustrate that it's going to be your mark that makes the difference. Okay, so this poster will be illustrated or advertised in all local areas and facilities, so everyone will see it. Okay, so the program will be launched to the public at the annual Cabbagetown Festival in September of each year. The booth will have information about the website, upcoming pop-up shop events, as well as an area to sketch and leave comments. The main physical form for the project is a pop-up shop located at the Cabbagetown BIA office. This pop-up shop will exist on the first Sunday of every month for the 6-month design period. At the pop-up shop, the public can have discussions, sketch their designs, collage, or just build models and leave comment cards. Okay, so this is our interactive website. So if people don't have time, they're often in work and they only have time for 5 seconds, they don't have time to draw, they don't have time to make models, so they can go at home and they do it in their own time, so it's more encouraging in some ways. So this is user-friendly, it illustrates or it displays what our object is, what we are, who we are, and how do they make their mark. So it's just intriguing and inviting. So the next page then is make your mark. So people go on and it'll ask you, are you part of the business district or are you part of the general public? So depending on which district you're part of or where your issues are, it will provide those images with that area. So they can either sketch their ideas on a black canvas, or they can put their inputs on images that are already there. So we have designed personas and scenario just to develop our design. Okay, so in our personas and scenarios, we have Jenny, she's a stay-at-home parent. We have Tom, who's a business owner. We have Margaret, who's a teacher. And we have George, who's a city official. Okay, so Jenny's story. Jenny picks up her children up from Cabbagetown Youth Centre. She sees a poster for Make Your Mark campaign. She goes to Cabbagetown Festival to see pop-up booths for more information. She wants to contribute, so she goes to the website. She decides to go to the BIA pop-up shop with her daughter to draw their ideas for the design elements and leave it in a Dropbox. Jenny and her children are excited to see how the end design will look with their input. So Tom was approached at his restaurant by a BIA member who asked him to come to the BIA office for information about the Make Your Mark committee. He decides to join. Tom is inspired and offers to exchange business credit at his restaurant in exchange for donations on the Kickstarter website. He becomes an active committee member and works on design shortlisting and participates in public review meetings. Tom announces the final design of a design element, meets with the city officials to develop execution plan, and the design element becomes a reality. Lastly, we have Margaret. A student tells Margaret about Make Your Mark campaign. She shares the campaign with the Historical Event Conservation Committee and joins Make Your Mark committee herself. She plans and hosts Make Your Mark events at some historic sites. She helps with campaign administration. She also helps to shortlist public designs. She then meets with the city officials to develop an execution plan. The design element becomes a reality. Okay, so overall, through the Make Your Mark campaign, within a 5-year period, the main street of Cabbagetown will feel more safe, clean and comfortable, whose distinct identity puts it on the map. But inviting people to take part, we are not the ones setting the standard for their environment, they are. This project, or using people, power and joining all stakeholders to improve a business area by enhancing its physical space will increase traffic and therefore economic activity. This program is a complete public service model. It can be applied to any city. Thank you.